Have you ever wondered, why can we stay up all night binge watching a Netflix series, remembering every plot twist and every character, but we can barely last 3 minutes at a desk before collapsing over a textbook? Something feels wrong about that, but also weirdly right. It's not because we're lazy. It's not because our brains are broken. It's simply because our brains are fighting against the habits we've built. Today's digital world is designed like a giant reward machine. One swipe and your brain lights up with dopamine like fireworks. We feel excited. We feel entertained. We want more. Every TikTok scroll, every episode, every little notification ping, it's an irresistible invitation pulling us back in. But studying? Different story. It feels like wandering through a dry, empty desert. No fireworks, no sound effects, no instant rewards. So, of course, the brain says, nah, not interested. But what if there was a way to flip that? What if you could turn studying, something that feels dry and challenging, into an activity so engaging that your brain actually says, hey, this is fun. Let's keep going. Sounds crazy? Well, it's not. In this video, we're going to explore 2 science-backed strategies: how to hack your dopamine and make learning as addictive as scrolling TikTok. Dopamine, the silent commander in your brain. Before we talk about how to take control of dopamine, I think you first need to understand how it actually works. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter, basically a chemical signal that helps nerve cells communicate with each other. But dopamine isn't the happiness drug a lot of people think it is. It doesn't create happiness directly. It creates the anticipation of happiness. It's like a little voice whispering in your ear, hey, this could be fun, try it. Or, that looks interesting, go for it. Think about the feeling of checking your phone every 5 to 10 minutes, even when there are no new notifications. You're not checking because you need to. You're checking because your brain is hoping there's something exciting waiting. Every time you glance at the screen, it's like tossing a tiny candy to your brain. Or when you plan to take a quick 5-minute break on TikTok, and somehow 5 minutes turns into 45 minutes without you even noticing, that's because every swipe is a small reward. Small, but steady. Tempting, and just enough to keep your brain hooked. Here's the catch. Dopamine doesn't care whether the reward is meaningful or meaningless. It only cares how fast you get it. That's why things like video games and movies and social media produce tons of dopamine, and your brain starts to prioritize them. Meanwhile, studying? It's slow. It requires effort. And often there's no instant reward at all. Your brain starts making comparisons. Why sit through 30 minutes of studying for a delayed reward when I can just get a dopamine hit from TikTok in 30 seconds? Over time, the brain builds a priority system. Avoid activities with low dopamine. Repeat actions with quick, easy rewards. Even worse, one study found that today, the average human attention span has dropped to just 8 seconds, which is actually shorter than a goldfish's. Why? Well, because our brains weren't designed for a world overloaded with temptation and distractions. We think we're multitasking, opening 15 Chrome tags, blasting music, studying, texting, but really our brain is being pulled apart piece by piece. And when your mind is that fragmented, learning, which was already hard, feels like climbing a never-ending mountain. But here's the good news. You can change the way dopamine works in your brain, if you know how. So if you're ready to take back control of your focus, here are 2 simple steps to help your brain manage dopamine the right way. Step 1. Dopamine detox. Now that we understand why our brains dodge studying like they dodge deadlines, it's clear. Learning isn't the enemy. It's just that our brains have gotten used to quick, easy rewards that even good things like books and knowledge get labeled as boring. That's why the first step isn't to force yourself to study harder, but to reduce dopamine overload and bring your system back into balance. Sounds intense? Relax. Dopamine detox doesn't mean you have to move to the mountains, cut off the internet, or live like it's the Stone Age. It simply means creating small pockets of quiet, enough for your brain to finally breathe. Tip 1. No screens for the first and last 30 minutes of your day. If the first thing you do in the morning is scroll through social media, watch videos, or check your messages, your brain gets flooded with stimulation the moment you open your eyes. And that sets the tone for the entire day. Restless, impatient, easily distracted. Instead, Try letting your morning start slow. A warm glass of water, a few deep breaths, jotting a few lines in a journal, or simply sitting and watching the sunlight spill through the window. At night, same thing. Turn off all screens at least 30 minutes before bed. Read a chapter in a book, or just sit quietly. It might feel uncomfortable at first, because your brain will crave stimulation. But after just a few days, you'll feel the difference. A clearer mind, deeper sleep, and focus that comes back naturally. Tip 2. Take a 15-minute walk every day. No phone, no music, nothing. Sounds boring, right? But this is a golden time for your brain to reset. Step outside. It could be a park, a quiet street, a little alley, and just walk. No earbuds, no podcasts, no screens. Just your breath, your footsteps, and your thoughts drifting naturally. Here's the magic. In those moments when it feels like you're doing nothing, your brain is actually working at its deepest level. This is something great minds like Steve Jobs and Einstein did daily. They walked to think deeply. And who knows, maybe the solution to that tricky math problem you've been stuck on will pop into your head during one of these quiet walks. Tip 3. 10 minutes of stillness each day, doing absolutely nothing. You don't have to call it meditation or yoga, just sit. No scrolling, no chasing deadlines, no pushing yourself to be productive. You could just sit on the floor, lean back on a chair, or soak your feet in warm water. The only goal? Let your brain truly rest. At first, you might feel itchy, restless, because you're so used to doing something. But if you can push through that discomfort, you'll start building one of the most powerful skills today, the ability to stay focused. Worried you'll miss something important on social media? Trust me, the things that truly matter will find their way to you. The noise, let it pass. When you successfully detox your dopamine, you'll be amazed. The things you once thought were boring, like reading, journaling, or simply sitting quietly watching the sunlight, will suddenly start to feel magical. Because dopamine doesn't disappear. It just learns a better way to work. Step 2. Turn studying into a rewarding game. After resetting your dopamine system through detox, there's one more crucial thing to do. Redesign the way your brain experiences learning. Your first mission isn't to become a perfect student overnight. It's simply to make your brain feel like learning is worth chasing. Something fun, rewarding, and maybe even a little addictive. Here's 5 tips to make that happen. Tip 1. Break big tasks into tiny victories. Instead of writing study math for 2 hours, which already sounds overwhelming, break it into tiny missions like solve 5 practice questions, summarize 2 pages of notes, sketch a mind map for chapter 1. Every time you complete one small step, your brain earns a little dopamine hit. You feel a sense of achievement, like clearing a level in a game. There's a reason why the best study apps have checkboxes and mini rewards, because the brain loves that moment of, done, I nailed it. Tip 2. Create a study vibe. Turn learning into a full experience. No one wants to study in a dark, messy, uninspiring space. Start with small touches. Wipe down your desk, fold your blanket, play some soft lo-fi beats or gentle rain sounds. Light a candle or set a tiny plant by your side. What if your house is too noisy? Try putting on headphones with forest sounds or cozy cafe sounds. These little details help your brain relax and give your study session a new vibe that makes it feel less like a chore. Tip 3. Attach small rewards after every deep study session. Just crush 25 minutes of focused study? Don't let it pass quietly. Reward yourself. A warm cup of tea, a favorite snack, 5 minutes of stretching, or pure chill time. Over time, your brain will link study and reward, and dopamine will start bonding with your learning process. Tip 4. Refresh your tools and spaces. Keep it feeling naturally exciting. Use a new notebook. Switch up your highlighter colors. Study in a different corner of your room or even in a quiet cafe. Change up your posture. Sit on the floor, stand at a desk, sketch diagrams on a whiteboard. This gentle feeling of newness keeps boredom at bay, giving your brain little sparks of excitement to keep you moving. Tip 5. Study with someone who has study energy. A friend who's also working on themselves can be a powerful boost. You don't need to talk, tutor each other, or even interact much. Just being in the same space, focused together, can be a game changer. It's like teaming up with a friend for a co-op game, but here, you're leveling up in real life. When those tiny systems become your habits, your brain will start releasing dopamine in the right places at the right times. And studying, once a heavy burden, will slowly become something you might actually look forward to. We often admire people who seem laser focused and super productive, as if they were born different from the rest of us. But the truth is, they don't have special brains. They just built smarter systems. They understand how dopamine works. They know how to design their environments and habits so that focus is nurtured, not forced. Focus doesn't come from brute willpower. It comes from small, consistent choices. Waking up 30 minutes earlier so you're not glued to your phone first thing. Going for a short walk when your mind feels overwhelmed. Sitting quietly for 10 minutes just to hear your own thoughts. Checking off a tiny box in your to-do list and then celebrating it. These simple acts, repeated over time, build an entire ecosystem that helps dopamine flow toward your long-term goals, instead of getting hijacked by short-term distractions. And the best part? You can start anytime. Even if you felt lost before, even if you've spent months stuck in endless scrolling, even if you believed you just can't focus like other people, you can still redesign your path, starting today. If you're still watching this, then I'm sure of one thing. You're not bad at focusing. You're simply waking it up in a smarter, more compassionate, and more self-loving way. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and hit subscribe. Because who knows, your next dopamine rush might just be hiding in one of our upcoming videos.